Hey guys, so this is episode 2 of doing a weekly update. I have not been doing it every week, just because can be crazy and stuff. So I don't know if I should like rename this series or not because it is just like they're like updating videos. But I don't know. There's like probably other clever things that I could call it. So I will see about that. But yeah, I did get so much done and just so many things added to various books. So I'm going to go over those with you. One of the things that has been kind of a deterrent to getting more videos done is just how fast I lose room on my phone. I didn't really think about that too much when I decided to start back up on YouTube, but I do film with my phone and it just eats all my memory really fast. So just trying to figure out solutions to that, and I ended up coming across one of these. This was like, I think $30. So I'm hoping this is a good solution. But yeah, I pretty much, as soon as I edit and finish the video, upload it to YouTube, I'm going to offload it onto this disc and just kind of keep doing that. But yeah, videos take up a lot of space, so that's kind of the plan there. And then I had originally started this album as just like a catch-all for things that make me happy and just print them out on Instax. And then I just realized that that is going to take way too long. And that I'm also using my little mini printer to add things to my other books so much that it kind of doesn't make sense to have it be separate like that. So I was like, okay, I still want to get better about having Instax photos. What could I use this for? And so I decided to just start printing out pictures from the year and fill it up that way. So it's nothing too crazy, but yeah, I just printed out photographs that I've been taking throughout the year, and it actually ended up being a good bit of the album already, so that's just a better use of it. But yeah, I'll flip through that for you real fast. My dad has this adorable kitten that I occasionally house sit to take care of. Some friends from my previous job. One time I had a customer end up having an identical ring as mine, so we bonded over that. Took some pretty pictures when I was in Texas for my friend's wedding. These are pictures I took of the wedding. I didn't take that one though. That one was sent to me. Just cozy nights in that I enjoyed, and just kind of keeping track of the fact that I am very focused on self-care and just having more of that very intentional, soothing time in my life. I love taking pictures of florals. Let's see here, tracking how big my Hobonichi is getting. Some walks to waterfalls with my sister. Going to the Funko Pop headquarters. Going to the aquarium. One of my favorite parks that I like to walk around and play Pokemon Go at. And this was my birthday night with my church group, and the helicopter egg drop for Easter with my church. Just some pretty pictures I took. This cute little goose family. I got that for my room and I was happy about it. I thought this had a lot of cool colors and textures. I found my favorite coffee shop and my favorite food there, so I go there probably too much, honestly, but I love that spot, and it's my little like study spot outside of the house. This year's stack of journals, again with the cat. I saw this plushie and it was very difficult not to buy it. Low-key, I might end up buying it one day if it's still sitting there, but I had to take a picture of it. My church group likes to go out to a restaurant called BJ's for Pazookies. So this was one of the nights where like a ton of us showed up. This was when I was walking around Seattle. This is when I was visiting my friends. So that's my friends with their kids. More pictures of the coffee shop that they run. More florals. When I finally got my dream film camera. Again, my favorite coffee shop. And this was just a picture of my passenger seat when I went out to the beach and had all my cameras on me, and then some of the pictures I took at the beach. So yeah, nothing super crazy, but still very fun use of the album. So I'm very happy with it, and I will hopefully have more to fill it with as the year goes on. And I just bumped my stand here. Whoopsie. Okay, and then so this stack is really big. I have my pocket notebook, which I started after the first episode of the weekly updates. So this is brand new. I'm obsessed with it. I am in it all throughout the day. It just serves as just a really important task management for me, and also like a brain dump that I'm comfortable with carrying around everywhere. So I'm going to go over that, and commonplacing, more commonplacing, so those two. This is the future Hobonichi that I had set aside to write encouragement, scripture, intentionality, plans, like all the things for my future family. So this is a project that I have had bouncing around in my head forever and ever, that I was just like really excited / nervous to start. I finally started writing in it, so I will show that. And then these are the, I call them my treasure troves because I think that's way cuter than junk journaling, of just day-to-day life and all the things I do there. So honestly, showing all of this, I feel like the video might be too long, so just dependent on how this goes, I might end up doing 2 parts. We will just see the pace of it, but I will try to go through the fastest ones first. Should probably be these. So yeah, this project is just something that I thought would be a really important gift to my future spouse, and to my kids, and it's something that I wanted to be very personal and honestly somewhat vulnerable, of just like being honest about what I want for our life, right? Like, what do I want for family traditions and goals, and like the important aspects of like our relationship, and just like everything like that. So I have an intro page. Obviously I'm not sticking to the dates necessarily, but yeah, I did this intro page like right away, and then I didn't touch it for the longest time because I was just like paranoid that I was gonna mess it up, or that what I was gonna write in it would not be like just as meaningful as I wanted it to be. And then I just kind of got over that, and I started filling it up. And so those, like, that was all one sitting, all of this. And then I also wrote a letter back here. And so this was actually what I wrote first, and I'm not gonna like keep it on screen very long because it is personal, but I basically wrote like why I was struggling to write in it, which sounds like a silly thing to acknowledge, but I just want it to be something that my future husband can really treasure, as like he can see that I'm aligning my heart with being a strong Christian woman, and like preparing to have that with him. So just talking a little bit about like intentionality and what's going on in my head with this whole project, and like what I'm trying to accomplish with it, that kind of stuff. And then I write about what is important to me, and then why it's important to me. So like what the actions and intentions are, and then kind of the backstory to those actions and intentions, and what kind of brought that as something that I want to focus on, or include in our family. So that's what those entries are about. I'm very happy with it so far. It also, now that I've like got the ball rolling, I have just a ton of ideas on more entries. So this is something that will be hopefully well loved and written in quite a lot coming up. So progress has been made, and that is important. And that's one of the things I actually kind of wanted to change this series to being called Proof of Progress. I know like Megan Rihanna is like the queen of commonplacing, and she's kind of one of the ones that everybody looks to for these types of videos. And I know that she does like proof of life. And I just wanted something that was like catchy, but I don't know if people would be mad that I also use the word proof. And that's like a weird thing to worry about, but I don't know. I was thinking proof of progress does really suit my personality because I don't know how consistent I'm gonna be able to be with all these things, but I'm somebody who's just like, it's not about perfection and it's not about like rigidity, it's about progress. And so that does really suit my mindset and like my attitudes around these things. But we'll see. I'll consider that, or maybe a different name. But so you guys have seen these pages. This is my mini primarily quotes commonplace. I do also kind of do overarching like skeletal ideas in here, and then as like a jumping off point for my large commonplace is kind of the thought process of like, okay, this is the basics and the things that I want to deeply elaborate on, and then the actual elaboration happens in here. So I had up to this page, I believe, last time I showed this to you guys, and then I came in here and primarily it is quotes. I decided to use this sort of red watercolor, well, it's more like a crimson watercolor dot sticker that I made for things that are faith related. So a lot of the entries recently have been faith related. I will pull quotes from anything, including other YouTubers like Megan Rihanna, the one that everybody talks about, and then also like other people at church, like different videos and commentaries, scripture, obviously, just kind of anything, right? Anything that, if it sticks with me, I put it in here. There are scripture, just direct scripture in here. There's also, what else did I put in here? Comedian. So there's quotes from a comedian that I was watching. So that's all these here. And then there's posts that I've seen on YouTube, or not YouTube, sorry, Instagram. There's posts I saw on Instagram that were like breakdowns of different messages. And so that's what that is symbolizing, is that this is actually notes from an Instagram post of all places. But hey, you just pull from anywhere, right? So that is that. And then, let's see. I think that's all I have to share in here. And I also, well, I guess I could share this. I also decided to put a little key, I don't know if key's really the right word, list of the topics that I've written about so far, because I'm having a hard time coming up with exactly how I want to do my key. A lot of people, it's like special interests, personal life, like faith, and it's like these big umbrellas, and for some reason that just like doesn't appeal to me at all. And so I'm just trying to figure out what's going to make sense for me, because I do write about things like all over the map. So I know like psychology and sociology can probably be lumped into one. I feel like earth sciences and like physical sciences can probably be lumped into one. And then faith. Yeah, I just don't know. I guess faith can just be one. And then, so I'm still, obviously you can tell I'm still in the brainstorming phase is the point. So I thought this would help me with that. So I just made a list of like the topics I wrote about so far to kind of help narrow down how I want to do my key. So far I've written about mental health, anxiety, faith, commonplacing itself, principles that are important to me, rainbows, spiritual aspects of music, cultural issues, memory, dreams, the science of light, and the movie The Sinners are all things that I've written about in commonplacing. So, and I like just started, so this list is probably going to get pretty big pretty fast. But what I think I'll do is every time I fill it, it'll just be like a tip in somewhere, is kind of my thought process, and then I'll just go to the next one, and then eventually I'll use this as like a jumping off point to refine my stuff. So yeah, that's that. That's probably repetitive, so thank you for being patient. And then my big guy. So, last time I updated you guys on this one, I had the entries about some of the docuseries that I was watching on psychology, so The Mind Explained, that's on Netflix. So you guys have seen those. So that's these. Then I did, yeah, I think I mentioned this one in my previous week's update. Yep, okay. And so this is new. The main thing that I've written about so far, which I'm not finished with this entry, is going to see the movie The Sinners. When I very first saw that preview for it, I immediately knew I wanted to see it, and I just kind of forgot about it. And then my sister brought it up, and then like the whole internet brought it up, and then I was like, okay, obviously I need to jump on this. First time seeing that movie was amazing. It's one of those movies that you like wish that you could see it for the first time again, because it's just like mind-blowing the first time. And I love that. And so yeah, I did really enjoy it. There was a lot of very interesting subjects, both from, I don't know, just from like a cultural standpoint, from a historical standpoint, from a faith standpoint. And it is very interesting too to listen to commentaries after the fact, because I listened to both like cultural, historical commentaries where people were just going overarching on that, and yes, they talked about faith because that's a heavy topic in the movie, but they didn't go from a faith perspective. And then I also watched a commentary from a Catholic priest, I think he was, or something like that. He had some role in the church, and he had a commentary based from like a faith perspective, and it was super interesting to watch that because I actually didn't agree with some of his interpretations, which is going to happen. Like, just because you believe in the same God doesn't mean you're going to interpret everything the same. But anyhow, that's not the point. It was just really interesting to hear a faith perspective that was different from my own, because there was some points that I did like, yeah, I totally see what you're saying. I agree with that. I saw it that way too. And other things where I was like, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. That's not how I like put those pieces together, if that makes sense. So it gave me a lot to think about. I started out this commonplace entry about it, and I kind of have like subheaders in here. And so the first one is like, why was I so interested in commonplacing about it in the first place? Just talking about what aspects of it made me want to elaborate on it. And then I went in and did a summary of my initial reactions to the movie. So just overarching reactions and then things that stood out to me. And then I had not finished with this entry by any means. So I started to take notes on one of the main commentaries that impressed me, but I didn't get far in the note taking because I was like at a cafe and I had to go to Bible study, and then I ended up listening to it in the car. But anyhow, so I need to finish writing that out, and then I just want to kind of expand upon my own interpretations of the faith aspect of the movie. So yeah, this is probably going to be much longer. It's going to be at least these 2 pages, but more likely even this page or potentially this page, because I'm long-winded and I got a lot to say. So yeah, that is that. And then I have other ideas of things that I want to write about in here, but I feel like my brain is just going to get super annoyed if I like guess what page to start the new thing, and then I'm like wrong about how much space I needed for the previous. So I'm going to try to finish this out first before I move on. And then I think because of how long the video is, I am going to go ahead and cut it off here and make a part 2. So I'm going to go over these notebooks because you already know them. And then I will go over this one because it is a treasure to me and something that I probably will be making a lot more content around, hopefully. But there's things to share, but it has made a big difference that I'm very excited about. So thank you so much for watching, and I will continue to update you on the progress of my journals. So I'll catch you in the next one.